Hi, welcome back. Today I'm looking at a company called Rig, and actually the company is called Transocean, and the symbol is RIG. Here we have a video
How does the
process
deep-sea
taking a
drilling
look
vessel
at
Chiku drill into the seafloor?
deep ocean drilling. Yeah, just taking a look at it.
When the
kind
vessel
of figure out
arrives
what
at
this
the drilling
company's all
site,
about,
it receives a satellite
how they
signal that
managed to do
helps the
some
vessel
of the
move into
remarkable
the
things that they
exact
do.
position required.
And basically just going
The
to look
vessel
at
has
some
6
of
propellers that
some
rotate a
information
full
that's available
360 degrees and keep the vessel in
regarding
one
oil
position,
and
preventing it from drifting
specifically
due
this
to the
company.
wind, waves, or sea current.
So let's take a look.
First, the
First
conductor pipe is installed. As the drill pipes are connected, the conductor pipe and guide are run down to the seafloor.
Take a look at the stock.
After the conductor pipe penetrates the seafloor, the drill pipe is released and pulled back to the vessel.
Now we know if we look at the 5-year,
A large drill bit connected to the bottom of the drill pipe is run down to the seafloor. The drill bit is led down to the bottom of the hole through the conductor pipe.
On a slight decline.
The drill bit rotates and drills the sediment and rock below the seabed. Seawater is sprayed from nozzles on the drill bit to raise the cuttings to the seafloor.
Very sideways. Looks like the market
After drilling several hundred meters, the drill bit is pulled back to the vessel. A casing pipe about 50 centimeters in diameter is set into the drilled hole to keep it from collapsing.
On these dips,
the casing pipe is run down through the conductor pipe and is inserted into the hole using the drill pipe. Cement is pumped into the space between the hole and the casing pipe to fix the pipe in place.
Pretty good return.
After cementing, the drill pipe is released and pulled back to the vessel. The Chiku is equipped with the riser system in order to drill into the earth even deeper. As the riser pipes are added one after another, the blowout preventer is run down to the seafloor.
Say you bought in at 11.
The blowout preventer is connected to a wellhead which is located on top of the casing pipe.
We're looking pretty good on this.
The vessel is now connected to the seafloor via the riser pipe.
Either hold on to it.
A drill bit, smaller than the one first used, is run down through the riser pipe and casing pipe.
But in case you're wondering how the market's been going, I'll take a look at
the drilling begins. Once the riser pipe has been connected, drilling mud is used instead of seawater. When the target depth is reached, the drill bit is pulled back to the vessel.
The reasons
to drill the hole even deeper, a narrower casing pipe is set in to protect the drilled hole. After the casing pipe has been installed, cement is pumped into the space between the hole and the casing pipe to fix the pipe in place. Again, an even smaller drill bit is run down through the riser pipe and casing pipe, and the drilling continues. Repeating this process, the Chiku will drill through the ocean crust to collect fresh, live mantle. This is something that has never been done before.
Higher oil prices, it'll be difficult for offshore rig markets to balance in coming years. So, key thing about all oil market is that it's called being
rotary drilling is used for ocean drilling. Let's look at the features of this method. First, the drill pipes are connected one after another as they run down to the seafloor. The work of connecting the drill pipes and drilling the hole are powered by a motor on the derrick. The drill pipe has a drill bit attached to the bottom. With rotary drilling, the drill pipe is rotated and the drill bit at the end crushes sediment and rock to make the hole.
coverage runs
After a
well into
while,
the next decade
cuttings
and offers
accumulate
plenty
at the
support
bottom,
in the
and
near
drilling
term.
cannot go any further.
Within the last
Seawater
few
or
years
other
have been
liquid
brutal.
is then pumped from the vessel
Transocean
down
has
through
taken
the
the right
drill pipe
approach to
and is
fleet
jetted out of the
optimization
nozzles
and
on
will be
the
able to
drill bit.
survive the brutal cyclical downturn
This
facing deep
liquid
water
current
drilling.
forces the cuttings up to the seafloor. That is rotary drilling.
As you can tell, this exploration and finding water in deep oil is a very, very complex system.
The deep-sea drilling vessel Chiku can drill over 7 kilometers below the seafloor into the earth.
Very bad.
To drill even further below the seafloor, a riser system is used.
For some reason,
with the riser system, mud is used instead of seawater.
Great. So it depends on.
There are several reasons for using mud. First, it has greater viscosity than seawater to force cuttings up from the bottom of a deeper hole.
So the earnings came out. Here are the earnings.
Also, with the increase in pressure at greater depths, the formation pressure becomes much greater than the pressure in the hole filled with seawater.
It actually came out on the positive.
The hole will collapse if a certain differential pressure between the outside and the inside of the hole is reached.
I'd like to look at how many people are employed.
Mud has a higher density than water, therefore the pressure inside the hole remains higher, and the hole will not cave in, allowing deeper drilling. The drilling mud is artificially conditioned with various kinds of products, and it is expensive. Discharging it on the seafloor is bad both environmentally and economically. The mud is therefore collected and reused.
Such as ultra-deep water, harsh environment.
For this purpose, the riser pipe is connected all the way from the vessel to the seafloor. The drilling mud sprayed out of the drill bit returns to the vessel through the riser pipe together with the cuttings and is collected and recycled at the vessel. Riser drilling not only makes it possible to drill deep into the earth, it is a breakthrough drilling method that is both environmentally and economically sound.
Pretty cool.
Riser drilling will make it possible to drill all the way down into the Earth's mantle, a depth never before reached in all of history.
The market that demands more than ever from a drilling company, Transocean is raising the standard for what delivery to the customer means. Performance, safety.
We used to think that in the future we'd all be zooming around in flying cars that run on flowers and smiles. Well, this is the future, and oil is still the lifeblood of the modern world. The world's roads are packed with 800 million greedy vehicles, guzzling their way through 7 billion litres of petrol. Keeping the fuel lines flowing safely with this flammable liquid demands a potent mix of engineering brilliance, chemical wizardry, and mucky manual labour. So, how do they do it? Texas, USA. From the look of this hot, barren, windswept landscape, you'd be forgiven for assuming this area must be a rural backwater.
Okay, so what I like to...
But in fact, this is one of the richest spots in the world, because Texas is home to the American oil industry. They've been drilling for oil here since 1894. But it wasn't until 1901 that the oil boom really took off, when at a stroke, the Lucas Gusher tripled US oil production. Since then, almost 60 billion barrels have been pumped out from the Texan soil. And if the oil companies have got their sums right, there are reserves of another 10 billion barrels or so still to be extracted. The sticky, smelly black liquid thereafter is crude oil, which is the raw material needed for making petrol. It was formed from the remains of tiny sea plants and animals during the Permian period. Thanks to the action of heat and pressure, 250 million years later, they've been transformed into one of the world's most vital energy sources.
This is black gold, Texas tea, the best there is. It smells like rotten eggs, but it also smells like money.
On this hot, sticky Texas morning, the crew of Derrick Rig 62 are setting to work sinking a new well. Every month, more than 1,000 new wells are drilled here in Texas, and together they pump out over 900,000 barrels of crude every day. To keep that oil flowing, producers like Occidental Petroleum will sink more than 100 wells a year. So for guys like Rick Baker, this hot, noisy, back-breaking work is very much just another day at the office.
I love this job a lot, you know. I've been doing this for 11 years. We take pride on our work. It's like a big family out here on this rig right here.
But the team face an arduous task getting the oil out. In this area, known as the Permian Basin, the crude lies up to 2 miles down, trapped in rocks over 250 million years old.
Here, see if I can get the. I guess we can keep it.
To reach it, they use the Derrick's huge motors to grind a diamond-tipped drill bit deep into the earth. But all the friction creates huge amounts of heat, so high-pressure drilling fluid is pumped down a pipe to cool the cutting head. The fluid then carries the cuttings back to the surface, where they're left to settle out in mud pits. It's noisy, dangerous work. Rick needs to keep the pressure on the drill bit just right. Too little and it won't cut. Too much and it will fracture.
Okay, so we are investors.
What's more, he must constantly be on guard for the threat of gas releases, which could cause catastrophic explosions.
Working on a drilling rig is real dangerous. You have to be pretty well tough to be out there doing this kind of work.
As they drill, the team need to regularly attach new 9-meter lengths of drilling pipe, using an enormous 5-ton automated wrench called an iron roughneck. With the drill head burrowing at around 5 meters an hour, this arduous task must be repeated every couple of hours, 24 hours a day. The drilling only intermittently halted to line the well. Eventually, if they're lucky, they strike oil. Initially, the pressure of the trapped oil forces it through small holes in the finished pipe and up to the surface. But this natural pressure doesn't last forever. So to keep the crude flowing, they use one of these. This is called a pumping jack, or nodding donkey. The circular motion of the powered flywheel is converted into vertical motion, and like an enormous metal syringe, it sucks the oil to the surface. Dotted across the empty plains, these quietly insistent nodding donkeys harvest the black gold of Texas. But these oil fields are many miles from where the crude oil is needed. So a series of pumps feed it to a pipeline and off on a 500-mile journey to the other side of the state.
So how is the oil market doing?
This extraordinary citadel of gleaming silver pipework is Baytown. Less than 30 miles from Houston, it looks like something out of Blade Runner and is the single largest oil refinery in the whole of the U.S. With over 5,000 miles of metal piping spread across 2,400 acres, this place can refine 560,000 barrels of crude oil every day. Not only does it get incredibly hot here, the noise is so deafening, its 4,000-strong workforce get through over 1 million ear protectors every year. This place is so huge, as well as Texan crude oil, it also sucks in supplies from all around the world. To satisfy Baytown's thirst, vast 300-meter-long tankers arrive at the specially constructed docks.
don't know how long you want to wait to.
Over 20 of these massive vessels arrive every month, each one delivering up to 3 million barrels from their huge holds. As much oil as every well in Texas produces in 3.5 days. The thing about crude oil is, it's crude. Even if you could get that stuff into your petrol tank and somehow set fire to it, it wouldn't provide the instant explosive power that internal combustion craves. To be honest, you'd be better off coating your driveway with it than driving with it. To become usable fuel, it has to be refined. So at the heart of the refinery lies the laboratory, headed by Joyce Bussey. It's up to Joyce's lab to supervise the process of turning the crude oil into usable products.
Crude oil in this state is not very useful at all. If you put this in your tank, you'd be sorry, because it wouldn't go anywhere.
The trouble with crude oil is it contains a mix of hydrocarbons, each of which has a different number of carbon atoms. The hydrocarbons are different in weight. The lightest is propane, while the heaviest is used to make asphalt. Extracting petrol from this mix is a formidable challenge, and it requires one heck of a chemistry set to do it. The most important part of the plant is this.
It's been up slightly this year.
Like a moonshine still as tall as a cathedral, this is where the crude is separated. Heated to over 370 degrees Celsius, it's pumped into the base of the tower. And like steam from a kettle, the vapor rises. As it cools, the molecules condense. The heavy asphalt and tar at the bottom, while lighter molecules, including diesel, jet fuel and petrol, continue rising until they too condense and can be siphoned off. But the trouble with producing all this fuel is they now have an ocean of potentially explosive liquid to deal with. But of course, it's this explosive quality that makes petrol so useful. So to make sure it's as explosive as it should be, it's up to workers like Derek Smalley to carefully take samples for analysis in the lab.
Let's check the strength indicator.
In all, every 159-litre barrel of crude produces 73 litres of petrol, 35 litres of diesel, around 20 litres of jet fuel and heavy fuel oil, almost 6 litres of propane, and another 34 litres of other products, such as butane, asphalt, and sulfur. Every day, this plant produces enough petrol to fuel a car on 770 round trips to the moon. Unless, of course, you drive a 4x4, in which case you may have to fill up halfway. Anyway, Derek delivers his samples to the lab for testing.
Our lab does the final product check of all product that goes out of the refinery.
Okay, so that's my presentation. Taking a look at it. Let me know what you think. Is the stock worth buying in? Will the oil market ever boom? We'll have to find out. I know that oil will be here for a while, at least while I'm making money. Maybe sometime in the distant future, oil won't be a good investment, but it's all, a lot of it's perception, what the market thinks about it. I know growing up, oil would have been expensive to buy into. So now we're getting all these great deals, and it's like, well, do you want to take advantage of it and see what kind of rebound there is? It's all speculation, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for joining. I appreciate everything that you guys do, and see you next time. Take care.